It is our duty. It is our duty. If you know something, if you know what happened to this young man, if you know where he's at, if you can lead them to his body. And I'm not saying he's deceased, but I'm telling you, allegedly, from all accounts I have heard, I have not heard good things. He's either being held hostage or has been killed, one of the two. But he's somewhere, wherever he's at, he's there against his will.
But they got to pay all I'm going to pay. Everybody that's involved, I want them to pay for my son. Everybody that's involved, going to pay for my son. Everybody that's involved, going to pay for my son. Everybody.
Today we're going to be in Eufaula, Alabama, a town with a population of fewer than 13,000 people that sits along the Chattahoochee River on the Georgia border. In this town where everyone knows just about everyone, it came as a shock when one young man who lives there vanished without a trace. Not only was this completely out of character for the young man, but the last person he was seen with was someone he thought he could trust, but may have been the very person who was involved in his disappearance. 18-year-old Marcavius Rump was a young man just entering young adult phase of his life and was said to have a vision, talent, and a long-term plan for a good life. Mark, as many called him, had just graduated from Youth Build and was preparing to start welding school soon to accomplish his dreams and become a welder. He had goals, he had ambition, and more importantly, he had just given his life to Christ and was growing in his faith, trying to make the right choices. Over the past year, one of his teachers had the opportunity to invest in Mark's life multiple times through Youth Build. They watched him mature, they watched him begin to believe in himself again, and they watched God move in his life. The Mark they knew had a heart that was changing and a future that was being built. Not only at Youth Build did Mark have a great support system, but he had a mother, father, brother, girlfriend, and many more to help encourage him and push him through with his education. See, Mark had dropped out of school, but was encouraged to get into Youth Build program. Their Second Chance initiative for out-of-school youth provide GED preparation, construction skill training, and leadership opportunities to help young people become productive members of their community. Mark was more than willing to try to be the best version of himself, as he was so proud and as he should have been to obtain his GED and move forward with his chosen trade. But before he could even make it to welding school, he would disappear just days before Mother's Day, and loved ones knew instantly that something was wrong. Mark was not answering calls or texts, and no one close to him had seen or heard from him since around late or early hours of May 6th and 7th. The family quickly went to the police and filed a missing persons report the very next day, and the police department posted this message on Facebook. Marcavius Rump, 18, last seen around 7:30 p.m., May 6, 2026, at the Beeline No. 3 gas station. Unknown clothing, was last seen getting into a black Nissan. Please contact EPD if you know his location. However, the family said law officials were not of much help, and the information that they posted was not fully correct. See, Mark was last seen with a person that we will refer to as Jay, and Jay was allegedly giving misleading information to Mark's mother and father. Mark's mom posted this message after the police put up their post. She wrote, "This is false information Jay has given us on the phone." The next day, the officers went out to watch the cameras, and his, referring to Jay's black truck, was seen passing by the Beeline store, headed straight up 431. He never came to the store at all. This information will most definitely be updated because this is false information. Now, on the police post, they said that Mark was last seen at the Beeline gas station, but it appears that Jay's truck never stopped at the gas station, but drove right past it. Also, Jay's truck is not a Nissan. Because Mark's parents took to social media looking for help to find their son, other people in the community stepped up trying to do what they could to help. One particular woman, who was a social justice activist in the community, was the one to get the name possibly involved in the disappearance of Mark and the possible cover-up of something more sinister.
I asked someone to please inform me of some information, and I was given information. Now, a child that is my daughter's age, I was able to ask them openly. And when I asked them, had they heard anything, they said, yes, he was kidnapped, allegedly. Now, I had already heard something of that sort. As many of you probably have already heard that. Someone brought clarity to who the young man was that picked him up in that vehicle. I'm not going to say no names. We know who they are. And so because I am friend-like, I won't say we friends, I'm friend-like with that individual's mother, even though I've never met them, I thought I would attempt to talk to the mother. I want to say this, and I'm going to say this with my chest, and I'm going to say it out loud, and I'm going to say it all day because I don't know no other way to be but a straight shooter. We are in real time watching a child of our community that has been abducted. And the chances are that that baby comes back home alive are slim to none. I'm just going to say it. Because all the reports that I have gotten have not been good. They've not been good. And what I will say is that this young man was loved. Okay? God does not play about his children. And even the young man whose car he got in is still a child of God. God is our heavenly Father, and he entrusts us to earthly parents. And as mothers and fathers, we have a duty and a responsibility to hold our children accountable. Now, when I say this, hear me clearly. From all accounts that I have heard, again, the young man, then I don't know what went left, what went wrong, but from all accounts, what I have heard is that the young man is no longer here. Okay? I have been told multiple times by people across age groups that this young man may no longer be here and that he was in fact kidnapped. And the goal was to rob him. Now, what happened in between, I don't know. But I know that he is not here to speak for himself. And nobody who he was seen with is speaking up. And we owe a duty to speak up about what we may know and come forth with the truth. Because it's Mother's Day. And I can't even imagine where his mother is at and what kind of pain she is in on today for a baby that she carried to be wondering and sick with worry about where her baby is. If our earthly children that we are entrusted with do wrong or are accused of wrong, our job is to hold the truth accountable and let it speak. But to go silent, to go missing, to disappear, it raises eyebrows. This young man's mother deserved the truth. What I was told by one of my sources and multiple sources is that this young man was in the Chattahoochee projects. I was also told that this young man is very close with his brother, the one that went missing, and they're always together like two peas in a pod. And I was told that this young man was called across the street, and he got in the car with a young man named, and he has not been seen since. So we need for the young man he got in the car with to come forward and let us know something as the Black community. We are not accusing you. We are not holding you to a cross, but we are saying you need to let us know something. Because we've heard that the young man was kidnapped. That is what we have heard. It could be your kid tomorrow. Again, an injustice to one is an injustice to all. But either way, he's gone. Vanished into thin air. People just don't disappear. And we hear that he had a gun that was involved.
So the streets were talking, and the young people around town appeared to be hearing things that were disturbing. See, this lady had done more than one video about the case, and according to her and Mark's family, Jay's mother not only might know something, but took Jay and the rest of her family and fled town. In the meantime, Mark's family was boots on the ground searching for their son. According to loved ones, police had not did no searches, so they did what they had to do, looking night and day, searching everywhere to see what they could find out. As the days passed, the family became even more worried. And on Mother's Day, Mark's mother was out in the rain searching for her child. The truth will come out the very next day. When Mark's family was out searching, they tragically would find him, but he had been shot, burned, and dismembered.
A mother's grief is tangible, the pain unthinkable. For 5 days, Marcavius Rump's family searched for the missing 18-year-old after they say he was last seen Thursday, May 7th, getting into a car with an acquaintance. Then came disturbing information from the community. Fearing he had been badly hurt, the family launched their own search over Mother's Day weekend.
I looked for 5 days for my son with no help from the Eufaula Police Department. No help. Me and my family in the rain on Mother Days. I walked around through woods.
Then Monday, in a muddy wooded area off of White Oak Church Road, their search ended in horror.
They basically burnt my baby, shot my baby, burnt them up and chopped them up.
And you were the one that found?
Yes.
How does a father deal with that?
I'm dealing with it best I can right now.
This tragic discovery was said to be made just yards away from Jay's family's property, and the talk of the town was Jay was the one who did it allegedly. The day before he was found on May 10th, Jay's mother, who was getting a lot of backlash, took to social media and said, "Don't mistake my silence for conviction. My child turned himself in and was released. My property and those affiliated have been searched on a city and county level. Y'all so used to me being vocal that you've mistaken my silence for guilt. My silence is out of respect for the mother who is missing her child. My silence is out of respect for what is unknown. But don't ever think that I'll ever forget or forgive those who have chosen to clout chase off of a tragedy. It's me today, but it can be you and yours tomorrow. Walk light. My heart is broken. My life will never be the same." However, no one was trying to hear it in the town, especially after the gruesome discovery was made. Jay, who is normally very active on social media, had gone radio silent, causing more people to speculate. It also does not help that he speaks about taking someone's life quite often if someone were to ever try him. The town is so small, words travel fast, and Jay's family is feeling the heat. As of right now, law officials have not released any names or any possible suspects, and they're still waiting for an official identification of the remains. With that being said, the family who found Mark already know that it's their loved one. Since Jay has not been officially charged, I didn't want to put his real name and image out there. Someone definitely knows something, and some people believe that there were other people involved. Mark did not shoot himself, Mark did not burn himself, and Mark did not dismember himself. It is just so very disturbing that someone could do him the way that they did, and I pray that the family gets the answers they deserve sooner rather than later. One of the workers at Youth Build said it best. There are now family members hurting deeply, friends grieving heavily, a community searching for answers. Moments like this remind us just how fragile life really is. Tomorrow's not promised. Every person you pass is carrying something. Every young person needs direction, hope, and people willing to believe in them before they fully believe in themselves. Mark mattered. His life mattered. His story mattered. Rest easy, Mark. You were loved, and you will not be forgotten. Another wrote, "It is heartbreaking counseling, mentoring, praying, and speaking life into so many children daily, just to hear that one of them was murdered in such a brutal manner. My condolences and prayers go out to the family of Marcavius Rump. This world is becoming more and more evil." It is definitely a tragic and sad reality, the things that take place. My thoughts and prayers are with the family, especially after seeing what they saw. I pray the family truly gets the justice they so deserve. Please don't forget to let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to comment your prayers as well for this family in this very difficult time. And hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.